Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Super Vince 93 here, and I just want to say I apologize for being, pretty lazy with the uploads. I have been slacking. It's been like a week or a little bit over a week since my last upload. So I'm just gonna get right into it. This is about political correctness. This video, and it's been quite a bit going on around it with politics, with Trump, with everyone getting offended over stuff. I'm not trying to downplay anything, but you have this movement called I guess triggering movement. I forget. It's like some new thing in Twitter, and it's actually pretty interesting because this is a response to social justice warriors. The people saying, "Oh, you can't be mean, you can't be that," when people are just giving honest criticism. Like, and I think it comes right down to it's like people can't take criticism, and they take it as someone being mean. Like, for example, when I had horrible audio equipment and I was doing videos, a lot of you guys, my subscribers, let me hear about it. And it was great feedback, it was great criticism, and it was honest criticism. So I couldn't get mad at that. It would be different if you guys say, "Oh, you have horrible audio, you're stupid, oh, you're this, you're fat, you're black." Yeah, like, if you guys went on a tangent like that, that would have been horrible. But of course, that would have been your free speech right there. But when someone, gives you criticism and is legit constructive criticism, it would behoove you to listen. You may take it with a grain of salt, but it would behoove you to listen. But, a lot of people like, say, Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian, they're essentially trying to stump on the First Amendment. Saying, "Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say this. Oh, you can't make a video game with, this because, the characters that you're portraying are very sexist towards women. Oh, this, oh, this represents, oh, you can't do that." And a lot of people just are, taking sides with them because they're like, "Yeah, it should be, speech should be regulated," but really not really. Quite frankly, the only two aspects that speech should be regulated and should be put to a stop is when someone is yelling, like, say someone has a tendency to yell fire in a theater. Yes, sure, you're utilizing your First Amendment, but you're putting people in danger, so that doesn't apply. Or if you're posting threats, whether they be on the internet, whether that be on paper and you giving it to someone, or whether that be on paper you're putting it in an envelope and mailing it to someone, or whether it be verbal. If you tell someone, "I'm going to kill you," those are terrorist threats. That's a threat. You could face jail time for that. So yeah, but stuff like, "Oh, this video is not great because the audio is horrible. You went off topic. You went on multiple red herrings." That's just constructive criticism. And if you don't like that, of course you could just delete the comment. But if you don't like constructive criticism, don't be a YouTuber. Don't be on Facebook. Don't use social media at all. You might as well just not talk to people. Because no matter what, there are always going to be critics, and there's always going to be people using criticism. And this, triggering movement is just a product of people getting annoyed by, other people whining about, "Hey, you can't say that, you can't say this, you can't say that." So, of course, it's kind of reverse psychology. It's like these people that are just normal people that like giving criticism, they're going out of their way to be super offensive. Which, is that the right path? Is it pretty edgy? Yeah. But I understand the movement. Because quite frankly, enough is enough. I mean, you have every right to not like someone's work. But when you go out of your way and try to get video games regulated and try to stifle artists like creativity or creators' creativity, you try to stifle that just because you're offended about how their characters are being portrayed, you're in the wrong. You're trying to stump on the First Amendment. saying you can't create this, or saying you can't draw this, or saying you can't write this, or saying you can't publish this. Now, I'm just I'm a big thing. I'm big on the First Amendment because I quite frankly the First Amendment is very important because without the First Amendment there would be no other amendments. Not just because it's the First Amendment, just because the definition of it, freedom of speech, which meaning that you had to have a conversation like what should the other amendments be. There was an obvious discussion, and that's how all the other amendments came to be because it was a discussion obviously, and the First Amendment started it all. But without freedom of speech, nothing really gets done. People just get rolled over, and people just get steamrolled without any resistance. And I know that I'm talking mostly about Americans because I keep on mentioning the First Amendment, but I think free speech in general, all throughout the world, should be embraced and should be encouraged. Let your voice be heard. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're spouting ignorance, like say the Ku Klux Klan, then by all means you're gonna get what you're gonna get. Like the event that happened like a week ago, I believe. It was a Klan rally in Anaheim. Well, Klan protest rally in Anaheim, and of course a lot of minorities were there, and they pretty much crashed it. And honestly, I was like, bravo, because quite frankly, you have freedom of speech, the First Amendment, but spouting blatant ignorance and just pretty much preaching hatred towards a group of people, that's stupid. So it was pretty cool how the minority stood up against those racist folks. But when it's all said and done, everyone has freedom of speech. As long as you're not physically hurting anyone, everyone has freedom of speech. But of course, if you escalate a situation and people get hurt, you could be very well liable. If you're encouraging hatred, you could be very well liable, and if something happens, that's going to be on your head. But when it's all said and done, freedom of speech is very important. It allows you to move forward in life and fight for additional rights, to maintain the rights you already have. You must let your voice be heard. You must get out and vote, write your congressman, stuff like that. If you want stuff to change, you gotta let your voice be heard. So this triggering movement, I'm for it. I'm definitely for it. Now, do I agree with the way people are going about it? Yeah, it could be a little less edgy, but the fact of the matter is, I get why people are doing that, and I'm 100% for it. Because people cannot just stomp on freedom of speech. You can't. So let your voice be heard. Do not back down against these people that are trying to silence you. Don't. Let your voice be heard and do everything in your power to maintain your rights as a human being, as a person, as an individual. So it doesn't matter where you stand, liberal, conservative, whatever. Let your voice be heard and let the chips fall where they may. So that's just about, my video right there. Sorry if I had any brief pauses or, I'm a little scatterbrained. So, yeah, this is Super Vince 93 here, and I'm out.